5 times. So I used to sing a lot of Carole King songs and stuff when I was in the band. So that was one of my go-to, boy.
Yeah.
I loved it. Well,
Would
hello,
love
everybody.
to hear you sing.
Oh gosh, I don't sing as good as I used to.
Well, none of us do, but
Oh, that's very
still.
true.
That
But yeah, I
would
did
be
the
so
whole
great.
thing, the dancing, the singing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, that's just, I love that.
it was fun. All right, so here we are, and I see um, Dove and uh, let's see who all is here. Regis is here. I don't see uh Karen, so I guess she's not making it in today, and that's fine and good. Just to let you know, we just purchased her a bag for her walker that has a cooler and all sorts of things, so she can use it to, get around. So I think that'll be really helpful to her.
Mm.
I just told her, send me your Amazon, wish list or whatever, and we got her pizza the other night for dinner, and just whenever she needs something, I've just said, let me know, because people have sent me money.
I would love to participate in that too. So it's Julie, if you want to let me know.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure,
I've
Julie.
been communicating with her personally, but I, yeah, I would like to participate in any way that I can to help her out.
Yeah. So yeah, so I mean if you can do stuff in person, that's even the better thing. But if not, you can send money to my PayPal or to Venmo or something. I can let you know the different ways. And then
Okay, that would be helpful.
we just, purchase the things that she needs. And I told her don't even think about any part of it is because you guys would do it for me for sure. So, and have done it for me in the past. So that's how we live. So, well, anyway, Deb, I'm going to turn it over to you to get the meeting going, and I'll go find our reading.
Okay, yeah. I don't know where we stop, but if you can find that, I'll be glad to start us off. And first, thank everyone for being here. Yeah, I did speak to Karen this morning. She said she's still in pain.
Yeah.
Uh, so I open up the course and I see lesson 190. I choose the joy of God instead of the pain. So yeah, one of there's a line in the course that says, if you have a body, pain goes with the body, but the suffering is optional. Suffering is optional. So we've all experienced pain, but the suffering is optional. And suffering happens in time. People hold on to pain, even though it's there and they can let it go now. Just sharing. Okay, are we on paragraph 6, salvation?
Paragraph 6 is where we ended up last week. Yeah.
Okay. Uh,
So,
Did we start with 6 or go to 7? I'll start. I'll start with 6.
okay, Karen says she's going to come in. There she is.
It's Karen.
Yay, hooray. So, yeah, why don't we start with 6 and see how far we get today.
Okay. Blessings, Karen. Thank you for joining us. Let's start with paragraph 6. We're in chapter 25, the justice of God. Section 6, a special function. And paragraph 6, salvation is no more than a reminder of this world is not your home. One of my favorite lines lately. I actually was teaching on that down in Bogota, Colombia, which I think I said last Monday. The theme was, the topic was called, We Are Visitors to This World of Dreams. So salvation is to wake up. And a meeting that both Lynn and I were in the last hour between 12 and 1, they were talking about, we are all awakeners. We are all awakeners. We contribute to the awakening. And one of the great ways to awaken is to remind yourself that this world is not your home. We're visitors. And, like Jesus says, I'm in this world, but not of it. And that keeps your mind free to recognize that the things of this world, the laws of this world, do not govern us. We're governed by a power that is in us, but not of us. He tells you that in Trust, in section 4 of the Manual for Teachers. So he goes on to say the same thing here. Its laws are not imposed on you. Its values are not your values. Nothing that you think you see in it is really there at all. This is seen and understood as each one takes his part in its undoing, as he did in making it. So, as Ken Wapnick always likes to remind us, this is not a course in learning. It's a course in unlearning. It's a course in unlearning. So this is the same as undoing. So the things that tie us down, the things that cause us anxiety, stress. I was just in another meeting, and it was Amy Torrey. Some of you know Amy. She said the purpose of this world is to mess with us, uh, to mess up our minds. That's the purpose of the world. And it came to me as she said it, or a moment after she said it. Uh, uh, the world can only mess up your ego thoughts. It cannot mess up the thoughts that you think of God. So if you feel all of a sudden you get triggered, that's pretty much what I teach. That be grateful for your triggers because they reveal your mistaken beliefs, and your mistaken beliefs will be messed up by the ego. The ego mess up your mistaken belief for sure. That is the purpose of your belief, the things that we believe to be true that aren't true. This is seen and understood as each one takes his part in his undoing, as he did in making it. He has the means for either, as he always did. The specialness he chose to hurt himself did God appoint to be the means for his salvation. The specialness he chose to hurt himself. So, yeah, maybe I wanted to be special, but those are my special thoughts that the ego messes me up with. That's exactly what we're saying. And God appoints to be the means for his salvation, because this world is not the world that we think it is or we thought it was. It's a classroom where we come to learn lessons, and the lessons that we learn are really the mistakes that we've made that we can undo. Goes on, from the very instant the choice was made. His special sin was made his special grace. His special hate becomes his special love. It kind of reminds me of Corinne Zipko's book, From Anxiety to Love, which almost everyone here recommends. I've never read it, but I just recommended it to somebody else. Are there any thoughts? Anything at all from anyone? No? Okay. Happy.
Nobody have their hand up? Nobody?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, Karen.
Hi,
I'm sorry, Karen. I didn't see you. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay, Dove. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Yeah, thanks, Dove. I love what you shared about being in this world but not of the world, being a visitor to this world of dreams. Uh, Salvation is no more than a reminder this world is not your home. Thank God. Oh my God. Thank God this is not my home. Oh my gosh. Salvation is undoing of what never was. That's according to the Course in Miracles. And I also would add to what Dove said that, he tells us that we're home. We are already home, dreaming of exile. And in the very last, I think it's the very last paragraph of What is Salvation, he tells us that only heaven exists. So I am in heaven now. I am safe now. If I choose to remember the truth and I choose to, listen to the Holy Spirit, because it's so easy to get caught up in this world. It's so easy to get caught up in this world. And I'm so grateful to be reminded that salvation is no more than a reminder that this world is not my own. Today was a good day. I had physical therapy and occupational therapy come today, and I learned a lot of new tricks. I learned how to put my socks on by myself with a little gadget, which is really cool. Uh, that's the highlight of my life right now. The physical therapist showed me how I can sit in the recliner and do like very light exercises, just like strengthening my legs a little bit by just squeezing my thighs and moving my feet, and it feels so good. Like I didn't have PT till late in the game, so I was just walking, and my feet are swollen and I'm just very, very uncomfortable in many, many ways. But today was a good day to be shown another way, because I surely don't know what I'm doing in this recovery. I'm just doing the best I can. And having this help is such a blessing. I'm so grateful for it. And really, that's all I have to share. I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you.
Okay, very good to hear from you, love, really. And you sound wonderful. I just want you to know you sound like you always sound perfect. Rafi, go ahead.
Yeah, this is a perfect match for what's been going on with me for the last 2 or 3 days. The last 2 or 3 days have been coming up for me, the fear of the pain of separation. And the ego mind is looking for oneness, wholeness, belonging in the dream, and it ain't there. It's like trying to get water out of a mirage. You can't do it. And so I've been able to be in touch with that and see what's going on and let go of that, the fear of the pain, the wanting to be one, the wanting to be secure, and let all of that, all of those feelings go. But when it came up, it kind of surprised me because I was looking at it like, well, you want to, you at your age now, you're more separated from your industry, from show business, that you've been into for over 60 years. Now you feel like you're on the outside and you have to get back. Whoa, hang on a second. That's that fear of separation again. And, and you can't find wholeness, oneness, truth in the dream. Wake up from the dream. So it's been a great lesson. And then I come here and boom, there's the reminder once again. Thank you. Am I being divinely guided? Hello. Yes. Very grateful for that.
Thank you for that, Rafi. That sounds very familiar to me too. Cindy, go ahead.
Thank you, Rafi. You took the words out of my mouth. I'm here. Uh, the fear of the pain of separation is so acute in me right now. And what's so crazy is, I'm so aware of it mentally. I get it. And I watch myself, my emotions, and I tell myself it's like I should know. I'm sorry, guys. I should know. I should be able to. I don't know. I should not be crying over the situation, uh, because this world is not real. Anyway, but I'm just trying to uh, relax and accept and ask the Holy Spirit. Well, I am asking. I'm available to, take these feelings, these illusions that I'm having, and heal me and show me that the truth about myself, because that's what the Holy Spirit does. He takes all our illusions and our inability to see the truth in ourselves, and he heals us with our illusions. I'm not making much sense right now, but I'm trying to work this out with the Holy Spirit as honestly as I can. So thank you. I needed to get that out.
Oh, sweetheart. Why not cry? I mean, why wouldn't you cry? There's Yeah, exactly. Crying is cathartic and it's healing and it's letting out the things that you're trying so hard to hold in. And when you're trying so hard to hold it in, it hurts. So let it out, let it out, let it out. Rafi, please go ahead.
I was going to say exactly the same thing. Welcome all those feelings. They're great triggers. And if you suppress the feelings or you don't like them and you try to avoid them, push them away, escape from them, suppress them, they're only going to stay there. And it's going to make it worse. Okay. What you resist persists. Welcome the feelings, cry your heart out. Just let all of those and then allow those feelings to go. They came up to leave anyway, and feel as distressed, as distraught, as sad, whatever they are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Love them, love them, love them, and then just allow them to go. And they will. That process will complete itself. You don't have to do anything, but just say yes to. And Lynn nailed it. I'm just verifying what she said.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, Rafi. I just want to also say tears are the way that I woke up back in 1972. That was my spiritual awakening. I had hours of crying, but I would also say find someone that you can be with when you're crying. And, crying comes natural when you hit rock bottom, you know, uh,
Yeah.
like Byron Katie, she had her awakening when she hit rock bottom. The same with Eckhart Tolle, I think Bill Wilson. Uh, I hit rock bottom in May of 72. I was 32 at the time. And right after that, I had a spiritual awakening that nothing from my past life had anything to do with what I was living in for the next year or two until I took S to try and recapture that. And he said, you can't recapture something, you just have to have it now. That's all. But S prepared me for going into the Course of Miracles, which I found 2 years later. So everything happens naturally. And in response to what Rafi was saying here earlier, the idea of this feeling of separation, it came to me today, and I'm almost 84, that I feel separate because in some ways I just don't fit in. So don't fit in is just another way of saying I feel separate. But those feelings are there for you to recognize. Once you recognize them, you can start laughing. The only reason I don't feel I fit in is I sometimes think that my way of doing things is better than someone else's way. For instance, I was just in a Zoom meeting, Zoom meeting with Len, and there's about 11, 12 people in the meeting. And the guy who runs the meeting, he took the chat away from the meeting because he thinks the chat bothers people or distracts them. And I really love the chat. I mean, most of you know that I'm writing in the chat. I'm thinking that my way is much better than your way, but I just don't fit in. But you got to laugh. If you take any of it seriously, the ego's got you. But when you laugh, you're letting it go. You got to be able to laugh at the things that you thought were true that are not true. They are not true. They are your beliefs. And you know how I feel about a belief. Beliefs are really judgments, by the way. And judgments will hurt you. There's no two ways about it. Are there any thoughts on anything I just said?
You know what, Dove? I just was going to say, I'm the same way that I get really upset when, I remember some years ago I went to a retreat and it was all great. We were having a wonderful time and it had, just kind of gotten everything started and going. And right at the uh, beginning, early on into the retreat, the person who was running the retreat said, I've decided now that we're going to have a silent retreat. And so there'll be no talking at lunch and there'll be no talking here and there and there'll be and and I was like, no. You're not gonna tell me now we're having a silent retreat. I didn't come here to be silent. I came here to communicate with people. I was really, really ticked off. I was like, well, this is not what I signed up for. I understood, later on, what the person was trying to do. They were thinking that we would, be better off if we were not talking and going inward. But that wasn't, the reason I went. I didn't go inward and not talk. I went to meet up with other people and have a good time. So and I was really really irritated with the person. And I guess I still have a little bit of that irritation in me now that I think about it because I still feel a little bit of like a a ping there from it. And uh, and I'm trying to ping all of you too, so you'll be like, Glenn, you were right. That was the wrong thing to do. So anyway, I'm going to shut up before I get myself any deeper. Anybody else have anything?
I want to kind of add to that because I just realized as you were speaking, we're talking about things that we do, like, I want to communicate, I don't want to be silent, and I want to chat, I want to be able to post in the chat. What do you mean it distracts? I think it helps, you know, but we're human beings, we're not human doings. Now, the course is very clear, and if you listen to Ken Wapnick almost every day, he'll say the same thing. This is a course in content and not form. And form is your doing, like, well, I want to talk. I don't want to be silent. I want to post in the chat rather than raise my hand. So that's our behavior. And you're right. Our behaviors are a lot different from each other. But when you love somebody or you see someone as yourself, you're not seeing their behavior as yourself. That's form. You're seeing their content. Content is my true identity. Content is what I am. To be what I am. Just melting into the beingness rather than the doingness. Karen, I see your hand up.
Yeah, thanks, Dov. Yeah, I was thinking about what you were saying about the unlearning and the salvation is undoing, undoing. And like in the course somewhere it says that true undoing must be kind. It's the course says that somewhere. I just remember that true undoing must be kind. So being kind, being gentle, being loving, accepting where I'm at, like where Cindy's at is perfect. Where I'm at is perfect. When I first came home from the hospital, I was so resistant. I was so scared. I was so fearful. I was so not in the moment, wanting things to be different, wishing I was still at the hospital, wishing this, wishing that, wanting this, wanting that. Until, after a couple of days of misery, I knew that I needed to just really relax into it and just allow all things to be exactly as they are and be kind, gentle, and loving to myself in the process. We are all healing here. We're healing our minds. We're healing whatever we're going through. Everybody's going through something. Be kind. Everyone is fighting a hard battle. So for me, it's very helpful to remember that the true undoing must be kind. Thank you.
That's so beautiful, Karen. Thank you so much. And your thoughts on kindness and gentleness and consistency, which is honesty, reminds me that those are the 10 characteristics of God's teachers. And And the word teacher, sometimes we think, oh, well, that's for people who teach. No, 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 no. We're all teachers. We're all teachers. We're always teaching ourselves what it is that we most need to learn. So the 10 characteristics, which everyone is kind of familiar with in the Manual for Teachers, section 4, the bedrock is trust. So my willingness to let go of form, and form happens in my closed mind. Notice that the last of the 10 characteristics is open-mindedness. In open-mindedness, you've let go of form. You've let go of form. But in the interim, after trust is honesty, which is consistency, tolerance, which means you don't judge yourself anymore, gentleness, patience, infinite patience with yourself instead of thinking that you're doing the wrong thing. No, you're not doing the wrong thing. That's judgment. Cindy, I see your hand is up and they're drilling outside my window.
I just wanted to say um what I noticed is when just being willing to open up and talk about what I was experiencing, that was my willingness. And I got to the tipping point where there's a healing going on. And Karen, when you said gentleness, I realized that I had become gentle with myself after as I was speaking and after I spoke. And so I just want you guys to witness a miracle. Anyway, thank you. That's all I have to say, really.
Wow, thank you, Cindy. That is beautiful. And thank you for being so willing to allow that to happen. And that's what this paragraph is talking about. Uh, the laws of the world, they're not our laws. Nothing that we think we see is really here. So uh, each one, this is seen and understand as each one takes his part in its undoing, as he did in making it. Excuse me. He has the means for either, as he always did. The specialness he chose to hurt himself did God appoint to be the means for his salvation from the very instant that the choice was made.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say, that line. That's what I was thinking the whole time I was in here. Anyway, I just had to throw that in. I couldn't remember the exact words. Yeah, that's exactly what he does, doesn't he?
That's exactly it. And look at it, and look how it works. The minute we realize that it was our choice, that becomes our special grace, and our special hate becomes our special love. And that's what happens. We shift from love, from fear to love, and from hate to love,
So is
because
that what
we
we're reading right now? I
yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
that's what
see. Oh, wow.
yeah,
I
that's
my
what we're just reading right now.
Wow.
All
And I
right.
missed that. Anyway,
Okay. I think we kind of covered 6. Move on to 7. Does anyone want to read 7? Read it here for 7.
All right.
Rafi, go ahead.
The Holy Spirit needs your special function that his may be fulfilled. Think not you lack a special value here. You wanted it, and it is given you. All that you made can serve salvation easily and well. Everything is working toward our ultimate good. Everything. The Son of God can make no choice the Holy Spirit cannot employ on his behalf and not against himself. Everything is working for us and not to us. It's happening for us and not to us. Only in darkness does your specialness appear to be attacked. In light, you see it as your special function in the plan to save the Son of God from all attack, and let him understand that he is safe, as he has always been and will remain in time and in eternity alike. This is the function given you for your brother. Take it gently, then from your brother's hands, and let salvation be perfectly fulfilled in you. Do this one thing, that everything be given you.
All right. Do you have any thoughts on that, Did anything there speak to you?
Well, right at the beginning, everything is happening for us. It's not happening to us. And you just got to make sure you see it, that it's working for your benefit. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. Even in the dream, it's still working for your benefit. Otherwise, it would. It's like Lester Levin you used to say, yes, it's a dream. Uh, it's perfect, but it's still a dream. And there's the perfection. It's all working for us. You have that saying, what could I not accept if, you know that. I don't have to repeat the whole thing, but there it is right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
What can you not accept if you but knew that everything that seems to happen, all events, past, present, and even to come, are gently planned for you by one whose only purpose is your good.
Hello, it's right there.
Yeah. And, and there's another one, lesson 268. Let all things be exactly as they are. What can you not accept?
And if you're in acceptance, it's a great place to go. You don't need to step higher than that is peace. And acceptance leads to peace. So come on.
And as Cindy says, relax. That's actually what Yeshua said in the same voice that spoke to Helen. Relax your mind, release your thoughts, and let go. As long as we're on that, Rafi, I really took to what you just posted in the chat. It says feelings or energy trying to leave, welcome them, and then decide to release them. Can I let this go? A lot of people think that your feelings are more important than your thoughts, but the thoughts come first and then the feelings. So people say, well, I got to listen to my feelings, don't I? The guy that turned me on to A Course in Miracles back in 1977, he used to have a saying, and I'm going to use a little profanity here. Your feelings aren't worth a flying fuck. Your feelings aren't worth anything. If you want to change anything, you got to change your thoughts. Your feelings follow your thoughts. Are there any thoughts on that, Karen? I see your hand is up.
Yeah, I love that, Dove. And in AA, they would tell us that feelings aren't facts. Feelings aren't facts. And I love what you also shared, that the thought comes first. And in lesson 17, he tells us that the thought always comes first, despite the temptation to believe that it's the other way around. It's so easy to believe that there's something else going on here in this world that is upsetting me, that is the cause. The cause is in my mind. The cause is always in my mind. So thank you for that reminder. Having a hard time breathing. So if I sound out of breath, it's just normal. It's what I'm going through right now. But what I also love about this paragraph is starting with sentence 4, where he says that all that you made with the ego can serve salvation easily and well. The Son of God can make no choice the Holy Spirit cannot employ on his behalf and not against him. So anything that I make, I can give to the Holy Spirit, and he will heal whatever I use to harm, whatever I think is hurting me, whatever I believe is the problem, or the reason, or the situation. All I have to do is ask Holy Spirit, please help me see this differently, and he will heal it. So that is really, really good to remember, and that's everything. Thank you.
That's beautiful, Karen. Thank you for that. Is there anyone else that sees anything in paragraph 7 that speaks to you at all?
Well, yeah, I see really a way of being that is not so much what a lot of people understand is the way to be, but he's saying, in light, only in darkness does your specialness appear to be attack. In light, you see it as your special function in the plan to save the Son of God from all attack. and let him understand that he is safe as he has always been and will remain in time and in eternity alike. This is a big deal here, right? To me, is to be able to let my brother understand that he is safe, that I will not attack him, that no matter if he believes something entirely different than me, if he believes something that he may think I think is hateful, if he votes for a different person than I do, or he goes to a different church than I do, or he practices his life in a different lifestyle than the way that I do. It's my job to let him know that I am not going to attack him for any part of it. I'm not going to be unhappy with his choices. I'm not going to be afraid that what he's doing or has done is going to kill me or destroy me or cause society to crumble. I mean, look at how many of us who are looking at the world and the way that the things are going on in the world, how many of us are so prone to want to attack our brothers for the things that they believe are right and true, and feel like their belief in right and true is an attack on me. That I might think that if you vote for that guy, it's going to destroy my life. If you believe in that, church, it's going to cause havoc in the world. These are stories that I make up to tell my brother, hey, you're not safe, you're not good, you're not lovable, you're not loved. And what Jesus is saying is, um, only the Son of God can make no choice the Holy Spirit cannot employ on his behalf and not against himself. That means it's a choice of who to vote for. That means the choice of who to love. That means the choice to who to worship. That means the choice of what to eat or not to eat. I'm not a vegan. I'm a this. I'm a that. All of these choices that we think are attacks that people are doing, and we're blaming them and looking at them and saying, you're bad and wrong. Jesus is telling us, oh, no, it doesn't matter what it is they're doing. The Holy Spirit's going to use it on his behalf and not as in a form of attack. So it's up to me to to see my brother in that same way, not to attack him because, he wants to ban a book that I love, or he wants to take away a right that I think I should have. I'm not saying that I shouldn't have the right. I'm saying it's not up to me to tell my brother how to be. It's up to me to tell my brother, you are loved, you are
Right.
lovable. You are perfect. You are God. You are the salvation of the world. That's for me to tell my brother, nothing else. And this is the function given you for your brother. Take it gently then from your brother's hand and let salvation be perfectly fulfilled in you. Do this one thing, that everything be given you. This one thing we're being asked for, and that's to give up our judgment of our brother and the world and to
Lynn,
see
that's so
only as
important.
God.
That's so important, Lynn. Thank you. That really is. Um, and then really quickly, um, what we do is we attack the attacker, and we find ourselves justified in doing so, and we don't even see that we're doing the exact same thing that we're judging.
Exactly. And there's no justification for it.
No.
Uh, I think that Lynn captured this entire paragraph, the whole essence, and you said it so perfectly and clearly. Uh, as he closes it out, well, he starts by saying the Holy Spirit needs your special function that His may be fulfilled. Now, you might think he's talking to you because you're doing the Course of Miracles. No, that's true for every brother in the world. The ones that you say, I wish that they were doing the Course of Miracles. No, they are given a special function and they are fulfilling their special function. Remember, this is the classroom and we're all teachers and students of each other. And then he closes it down at the bottom. He says, now take it gently from your brother's hand. And exactly what Lynn said. Don't judge him for taking your books away or taking something that you want and you rather than something else. No, don't go by the behavior, which is the form. Remember, this is a course in content and not form, who your true identity is. And there's another saying in the course, this never confuse symbol with source. Things like a book, my body, those are symbols. It's not source. We all come from one source. We're all in this together, all together or not at all. And it says, do this one thing. And I noticed one is in italics, one thing, that everything be given to you. Wow. Are there any thoughts on this? Rafi?
You know, when I was a kid, my father said to me, treat everybody, I was like 9 years old. My father said to me, treat everybody the same because you don't know what they're going through. And that's stuck with me. And then last year I was having a conversation with my brother, who was 10 years older than me, and I mentioned that. He said, he said the same thing to me too. and, and he lived by that. He never had any enemies, but he treated every because he came from a point of view of understanding. Who knows what hell they're going through? So don't be sitting there being judgmental. Let them, and this reminded me of that. I just wanted to share it. Thank you.
Okay, and I think your father might have gotten a little help from Plato, who said 2,000 years ago, be kind to all, for everyone is fighting a hard battle. And supposedly either Plato said that or his student Philo said it.
Well, whatever it was, it works.
Yeah. Why is it that everyone's fighting a hard battle? Does anybody know?
Sure, they're listening to their ego mind and thinking that's who they
Exactly.
really are.
Everyone has an ego.
Right.
Everyone's fighting a hard battle. Reminds me of Sigmund Freud. He was walking down one of the most beautiful streets in Vienna with his daughter, and it was all beautiful homes, expensive homes and manors and villas and things like that. And he says, from the outside, it looks like everyone inside is feeling good and having a good time. He says, that's not true. That's not true. The facade is nothing. It's what people are going through because everyone has an ego, period.
Yeah, Dove. And to add to that, everyone's fighting a hard battle because salvation is no more than a reminder that this world is not your home. This is
That's
a hard
Yeah.
battle. This is a hard battle here, this world. This is a hard battle. Our true home is peace. True home is peace, love, joy, but this home that we live in this world, in this ego, is hell, unless we listen to the Holy Spirit and remember the truth. I mean, it's easy to forget. It's easy to get caught up. So that sums up this: salvation is no more than a reminder that this world is not your home. Thank you, Dove.
bingo. You nailed it. I mean, that's exactly what's going on. If you think that this is all there is, you're fighting a hard battle. But this is not our home. We never left heaven. You gotta left. You gotta left.
If
Well,
you
we
think
got what we asked. We got what we asked for, and now we need to ask for something else, and it will be given.
if you think this is all there is, you're fighting a losing battle.
Yeah. It's a matter of identity, Cindy. If you identify with this little thing over here, it's called me, moi,
Yeah.
my body, I'm Cindy. If that's who you think you are, you're fighting a hard battle.
Yeah.
The whole course is saying that's not who you are. That's not who you are. You have to go from this mind, which is considered our wrong mind in the course, to our right mind, with Jesus and the Holy Spirit waiting for us to say, "Hey, I'm home." And my right mind is right here now. It's a journey without distance.
Right. But a person has to want that.
Let go of this wrong-mindedness. That's all. And the
But I
way
get caught up in, I go back and forth because I just know, I just see that I can see what I'm doing. And I guess haven't become miserable enough to ask to be shown another way, consistently.
and the
So,
way, Cindy, the way to go from your wrong-mindedness to your right mind is look at your thoughts and do not judge them. Do
okay.
not judge your thoughts at all. Zero.
Okay. That's okay.
Judge, and you're already in your right mind.
Oh, wow. Thank you. That's a big one. Thank you. I mean, really, that's what I do. Oh, thank you for that, Doug.
Judge
And that's
yourself.
all I do. I think I'm the judge.
That's the ego messing with you, period.
Thank you.
Okay.
See, that's the whole point of forgiveness, what Dove just said. That is forgiveness. We give these thoughts, we give these ideas to the Holy Spirit, and He transforms them for us gently. It's all a gentle process because we're so hard on ourselves. And that's why He's telling us here in this paragraph, that all that you made can serve salvation easily when we give it to the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit cannot employ anything on our behalf that will be used against us. He will use it for us. So that is all what forgiveness is about. So thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Wow.
All right. Is there anyone else has any comment on 7? If not, we can go to 8. There's still another 10 minutes to go. Nothing left on 7. I think 7 is one of the most powerful paragraphs I've ever come across. Really, I ain't kidding. And I didn't saw it before.
That's something, because of course because you and I read this whole thing, but the different state of mind, we were in a different state.
Yeah. And we're in a deeper state. We're in the deep state.
Yep. Yes, we are. All right, so let's move. That is the end of this section. And so we'll go to the next section, which is the rock of salvation.
Oh, I've been waiting for that.
Oh, I want a rock. All right. So do you want to read it, Dove, or somebody want to read this?
Does anyone want to read it? If not, I will.
Okay.
Okay. The rock of salvation. Yet, if the Holy Spirit can commute each sentence that you laid upon yourself into a blessing, then it cannot be a sin. Sin is the only thing in all the world that cannot change. So sin is the belief in separation. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with your behavior. If you stole something when you were a kid, you were shoplifting, that is not a sin. That's your behavior. That's form, behavior. Content is what I identify myself with. Content, again, is my identity. If I identify with this body, I am a sinner, literally. And if you see another person, if you see your brother as a body, you're a sinner too. Because you're saying he's separate from God, I'm separate from God, we're all sinners. No wonder the world looks the way it is. But one of the most famous lines in the course, which Lynn and I love, are you willing to see your brother as sinless? Are you willing? In other words, it's not asking, are you willing to see your brother without a body, but to see that he is as pure as God created him. Remember, miracles are everyone's right, but purification is necessary first. What is it that has to be purified? My belief in separation, which is my belief in bodies, which is my belief in differences, which is my belief in you're over there in time and space, and I'm over here. And never the twain is really going to meet. Oh, we might bump up against each other in the middle of the night in the parking lot, as Werner Erhard calls sex. but to be one with all has nothing to do with bodies, nothing to do with bodies. Are there any thoughts on that? As long as I spent some time on that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to go in the parking lot with Werner. So
Okay, going,
um,
it says, Jesus says it's immutable and in its changelessness, words like immutable, immune, changeless, those are the thoughts of God. Things, what changes is always of the ego. What's changeless is of God. That is why we are eternal. What God creates doesn't go from one place to another place. It doesn't change in time and age and body. I'm born, I live, I die, I'm born, I live. No, none of that is true. That's part of the illusion. And at the end of the illusion, you're looking at we are all one and the same equal. And Karen's favorite line is only equals have peace. Only equals have peace. And it's my slogan on TikTok. Only equals have peace. So if you see your brother as the same as you, as equal, you have already invited the atonement. It tells you that in chapter 6, section 2, paragraph 5, which is called the Holy Spirit's alternative to projection. Projection is I feel guilty over here, and I don't want to feel guilty, so I want to see my brother as a sinner. I mean, I want to see Donald Trump as the worst person in the world. That's not doing you any good. He is playing the part that Holy Spirit gave to him, but you are certainly not being the Son of God. Does that make sense to anybody?
yeah, no, that makes perfect sense
Okay.
to me.
Yeah.
And the idea of sin, you were talking about shoplifting or whatever. The only thing that's real is what belongs to everybody. So there's nothing that doesn't belong to if I have to take it from you, that means it don't belong to either of us because it's not real. And that's what we have to remember is that the things that are limited in number or in being are not real at all. And so the only thing that's real is the love. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you for the reminder, Lynn, because that reminds me, of course, of lesson 133. I won't value what's valueless. What's valuable belongs to me. If it belongs to me, it belongs to all equally. Because what God gives, He gives to all equally. So if you think you can steal something from somebody, whatever it is that you think you can steal or take, whatever it is that you have now that they don't have, has zero value in truth, has no value at all. That's why the name of the lesson is I will not value what is valueless, which is form. This is form. This is form. If you have a bar of gold and it's worth God knows how much, and you take it from somebody's possession and you think you got something of value, he's telling you it's zero value. That's why in lesson 76, I'm under no laws but the laws of God. He kind of makes fun of green paper strips and metal discs. It doesn't have any value. In this world, he said, I needed to pay my rent. Well, yeah, but what do you really value? What's valuable belongs to all equally. And exactly what Lynn said, the love of God is valuable. Do I see the love of God in my brother? The peace of God is valuable. Do I want to give peace to my brother? The eternal light of a mind that's all lit up is valuable. Or do I want to stay in the dark and say, well, I feel that my way of doing it is better than someone else's way of doing it? Okay. I'll just continue here. Maybe we can finish out. Yet each one knows the cost of sin is death, and so it is. So as long as you believe in form, you believe that death is real, and so it is. For sin is a request for death, a wish to make this world's foundation sure as love. So if you believe the world is God's creation, which it is not, then basically you say, hey, I was born, I live, I die. Was death all dreams? And if you're in this world and you think anything is true, you forget that you're the dreamer of the dream. You're the cause. To wake up means I remember that I'm doing this to myself. The secret of salvation is I'm doing this to myself. It goes on to say, for sin is a request for death, a wish to make the world's foundation sure as love, dependable as heaven, which is impossible. Heaven is eternal. This world comes and goes. It's always changing and nothing remains the same. And as strong as God himself, that's ridiculous. The power of God is eternal, doesn't come and go. Like the Roman Empire was here for what? For almost 1,000 years, and then wasn't here anymore. People saying the same thing about the United States. Say, well, the United States is here what, 240 something years. It's not even as old as Rome. You know, maybe it doesn't deserve to be a democracy. You know, a freedom, a place of freedom. So whenever you idolize something, whenever you make something in a world of dreams real, you're fooling yourself. Nothing in this world is real. Nothing. Zero. It tells you that in the introduction. What is real cannot be threatened. What is unreal doesn't exist. Herein lies the peace of God. I'll just continue. The world is safe from love to everyone who thinks sin is possible. The world is safe from love to everyone who thinks that sin is possible. So, yeah, the opposite of love is fear. So to be loveless, to be without love is I'm afraid that I'm all alone and I could be hurt and I can die. Love says that you are eternal. Love is changeless. Love doesn't change from year to year, from day to day, from good times to bad times. Love is, God is, and then you cease to speak. The world is safe from love to everyone who thinks sin is possible, nor will it change. So as long as you live in fear or distrust the same as fear, and you don't trust your brother who was one with you, Lynn's favorite lesson, lesson 191, I trust my brothers who are one with me, because we all share the same purpose. It has nothing to do with trusting him with your car keys. Yet, is it possible that God created what God created not? Yet, is it possible what God created not should share the attributes of his creation when it opposes it in every way? So only what God creates is real, and what we made as a shabby substitute is unreal, doesn't exist. Now, the ego is simply the idea of, I exist. Can't you see me? I exist. No, that's not existence. That's 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 insanity and looking in the mirror and saying, that's me. If you look in the mirror and think that that's who you are, you still need to do some more work in the court. That's it.
All right. Thank you so much, Dove. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Rafi. Everyone who's been here commenting and reading along. Remember, this is the way that we can actually come to, maybe we might have read that paragraph before and just said, nah, I don't know what that means, and just whipped on through it. But if we just stop and take a look and share with each other how we see it, what we see in it, it becomes alive for us. It becomes a reality for us, and we can actually live what we're reading about rather than just reading it and passing on. So thank you guys for taking the time and putting in the energy and the comments. I love you all so much.
And one thing, what Lynn put in the chat at 3 o'clock, right now, we cannot be in two worlds. reminds me of 3 lessons that are so powerful. 128, there's nothing in this world I want. 129, there is another world I do want. And 130, it's impossible to see both worlds. So you're either remembering the truth of heaven or you're still stuck in the thoughts of hell. That's it. Thank
Thank you, Dove. Thank you, guys. I love you all.